Have you ever stopped to consider just how much precious energy we squander trying to justify ourselves to people who genuinely do not care about our success? Take a moment to really think about this. How many countless hours have you spent defending your choices, explaining your dreams to skeptics, or sitting around waiting for someone else to grant you permission to pursue what truly matters to you? Let me share something vital with you. Every single second you invest in proving your worth to others represents time stolen directly from your own advancement. The moment has come to put an end to this self-defeating pattern. When you finally redirect your attention inward, when you stop looking outward for validation, everything in your existence begins to transform in remarkable ways. Why does this happen? Because genuine success never emerges from endless discussions about future intentions. Success cannot be found in convincing skeptical people that you possess the necessary capabilities. True achievement springs from deliberate action, from unwavering discipline, from consistently showing up for yourself during those solitary moments when absolutely no one else is paying attention. The vast majority of people never obtain what they desperately want in life because they remain perpetually distracted by external noise. They allow the chaotic clamor of the outside world to interfere with their personal progress. They waste precious hours endlessly scrolling through social media platforms, constantly comparing their behind-the-scenes struggles to everyone else's carefully curated highlight reels. They worry obsessively about potential reactions from friends and family members if they dare to choose a different path. They drain their mental energy engaging in pointless arguments with individuals who do not even have their best interests at heart. When the day finally ends, these people find themselves feeling completely drained, deeply frustrated, and trapped in exactly the same position where they started. However, let me tell you something transformative. When you deliberately eliminate these energy-draining distractions, when you stop feeling compelled to explain every decision, when you choose to focus exclusively on what genuinely matters, that precise moment marks when you become truly unstoppable. The fundamental truth remains that authentic success gets built in complete silence. It develops during those early morning hours when the rest of the world still sleeps peacefully. Success takes shape in those crucial moments when you consciously choose productive work over seeking external validation from others. It grows stronger during challenging times when you push forward relentlessly even though no one stands nearby clapping for your efforts. You do not need an audience watching your every move. You do not require approval from others to begin your journey. What you absolutely need is unwavering consistency in your daily actions. The more intensely you focus on yourself, on your personal growth, your self-discipline, your continuous learning, the more dramatically everything around you starts to align with your vision. If this powerful message resonates deeply with your soul, hit that like button and share it so more people can discover the incredible power of maintaining focus and embracing silence in their own lives. You begin attracting superior opportunities that match your elevated energy. You start making increasingly intelligent decisions based on wisdom rather than impulse. You develop genuine confidence that comes from within, not because someone else validated your abilities, but because you consistently proved your capabilities to yourself through concrete actions and measurable results. Let me clarify something important here. This approach does not mean completely isolating yourself from society or cutting off all meaningful connections with the world around you. Instead, it means becoming fiercely protective of your mental and emotional energy. It means developing the wisdom to be highly selective about where you invest your precious time and attention. It means understanding that not every conversation deserves your thoughtful response. Not every opinion deserves space in your mind, and certainly not every person deserves unlimited access to your thoughts and dreams. When you finally learn to guard your focus with the intensity of a skilled guardian, you gain complete control over the direction of your life. The most beautiful aspect of this transformation occurs when you commit to working in silence, when you stop announcing every single move you plan to make. Your eventual success becomes absolutely undeniable to everyone around you. People naturally start to notice the changes in you. They begin wondering how you manage to achieve such remarkable transformation. They observe the tangible results you have created, and you will not need to speak a single word about your journey. Your consistent actions will communicate more powerfully than anything you could ever say with words. Here lies your challenge for moving forward. Stop talking endlessly about future intentions and plans. Stop worrying constantly about other people's opinions and judgments. Stop waiting patiently for someone else to give you permission to begin living your authentic life. Simply commit to doing the necessary work every single day. Focus intensely on your own development and growth. Show up consistently for yourself and trust completely that when you maintain this discipline, everything else will naturally fall into perfect place. You absolutely have what it takes to succeed. Now go out there and make your vision become reality. What you choose to focus on consistently expands and grows in your experience. If you focus deliberately on growth, discipline, and continuous learning, your entire life transforms in ways you never imagined possible. The process really is that straightforward and powerful. Your personal energy represents one of the most potent forces available to you as a human being. Most people never realize just how much control they actually possess over their own reality and circumstances. Every single thought you think throughout the day, every action you take regardless of how small, every choice you make whether conscious or unconscious, all of these elements actively shape your future in profound ways. However, here lies the fundamental problem that keeps people stuck. Most individuals spend their precious energy in completely wrong places and on entirely wrong things. They focus obsessively on what appears to be missing from their lives instead of recognizing the incredible possibilities that surround them. They focus on meaningless distractions instead of building essential discipline. They focus on other people's opinions and judgments instead of their own genuine progress and development. Then these same people wonder why they consistently feel stuck in the same unfulfilling patterns. The undeniable truth remains that your life serves as a direct reflection of whatever receives your consistent attention and energy. If you constantly feed your mind with negativity, if you surround yourself with wrong people who drain your energy, if you waste valuable time on activities that do not serve your highest good, your external reality will mirror this internal state perfectly. But when you consciously shift your energy toward genuine self-improvement, toward continuous learning, toward becoming the absolute best version of yourself, your entire world begins to change in remarkable ways. This is not merely some empty motivational talk designed to make you feel good temporarily. This principle is actually backed by solid scientific research and understanding. Your brain operates with sophisticated wiring designed to find more of whatever you focus on consistently. Scientists call this phenomenon the reticular activating system, and it functions like a highly advanced filter, bringing into your conscious awareness the things that align perfectly with your dominant thoughts and beliefs. Have you ever noticed how, when you decide to purchase a specific car model, you suddenly begin seeing that exact same model everywhere you go? That represents your brain's filtering system at work, proving this principle in action. Now imagine the transformative power if you trained your mind to focus consistently on opportunities instead of obstacles. Imagine if you conditioned yourself to automatically see solutions instead of problems wherever you look. You would start attracting more of what you actually want in life instead of settling for whatever circumstances happen to come your way. The core problem remains that most people never take personal responsibility for where their energy flows throughout the day. They allow their environment to control them completely instead of taking control of their environment. They wake up each morning and immediately reach for their phones, letting news, social media, and other people's lives dictate their mood for the entire day ahead. They become caught up in unnecessary drama, in toxic negativity, in mindless distractions that serve no productive purpose, and then they wonder why they feel completely drained by evening. But here stands the fundamental truth that changes everything. Your energy belongs to you and remains your responsibility alone. No one else will protect it for you or manage it wisely. If you genuinely want to change your life, You must become intentional about what you allow into your mind and your personal space. That means establishing firm boundaries with yourself and others. It means saying no consistently to things that do not align with your goals and values. It means surrounding yourself with people who push you forward instead of holding you back through negativity or discouragement. It means replacing constant complaints with productive action, excuses with unwavering discipline, and distractions with laser-focused attention on what matters most. When you commit to this transformation, when you dedicate yourself to feeding your mind with constructive thoughts and your life with positive habits, you begin seeing tangible results in every area. Once you start seeing these results, everything shifts dramatically in your favor. You will notice that things that used to bother you intensely no longer affect you at all. The negativity that once drained your energy does not even register in your consciousness anymore. The people who doubted your abilities, who criticized your dreams, they become completely irrelevant to your journey. Not because anything around you changed dramatically, but because you changed fundamentally. You trained yourself to focus exclusively on what actually matters for your success and happiness. When you commit to this practice, when you put all your energy into becoming better, smarter, stronger every single day, your reality begins to reflect that transformation. This explains why genuine success never depends on luck or circumstances. Success depends on alignment between your thoughts, actions, and energy with the life you want to create. You do not need to have everything figured out perfectly from the beginning. You do not need to know every single step of the journey ahead. But you absolutely need to be intentional with where you place your focus consistently. Because at the end of every day, you're either feeding your future potential or feeding your deepest fears. The choice remains entirely yours to make. Do you believe that true success gets built in complete silence, away from the noise and distractions of the world? Comment yes below if you agree with this powerful principle. So the crucial question becomes this: what are you choosing to focus on with your precious mental energy? Because that choice actively shapes your life, whether you realize it consciously or not. Every moment of every day, you are creating your future through your focus. Distractions destroy progress more effectively than any external obstacle you might face. This represents one of the biggest reasons why people remain stuck in the exact same place for years, sometimes even decades. Not because they lack talent or natural ability, not because they are not capable of achieving great things, but because they stay too busy paying attention to things that simply do not matter for their success. Every time you allow yourself to become distracted by negativity, by other people's opinions, by unnecessary drama that serves no constructive purpose, you steal time and energy from the goals that actually matter to you. The most devastating part of this pattern is that most people do not even realize they are sabotaging themselves. Think carefully about your own daily habits. How much time do you spend scrolling through social media platforms, watching other people live their lives instead of actively building your own? How often do you allow someone else's negativity to ruin your mood and throw you completely off track from your priorities? How many times have you told yourself you would start something important only to get sidetracked by something completely meaningless? That represents exactly what distractions accomplish in your life. They pull you away from your true purpose and calling. The more you allow them into your daily routine, the harder it becomes to focus on what truly matters for your growth and success. Let me be completely honest with you about something important. Distractions are not always obvious or clearly defined. Sometimes they disguise themselves cleverly as things that seem urgent but are not actually important to your long-term success. A pointless argument with someone who will never change their mind, an unnecessary meeting that accomplishes nothing productive, a social event you did not really want to attend but felt obligated to join. These things might seem small and insignificant in isolation, but when they accumulate over time, they become the primary reason why you are not making meaningful progress toward your dreams. Because every moment you spend on something that does not align with your goals represents a moment you could have spent moving forward intentionally. This explains why the most successful people in the world remain ruthless with their time management. They refuse to let distractions dictate their daily schedule. They do not waste mental energy on things that do not serve their vision. They protect their focus with intensity because they understand completely that without focused attention, nothing truly great ever gets accomplished. You must begin thinking the same way about your own time and energy. If you want to achieve something significant in life, you cannot afford to let distractions control your days. You must take complete control of your environment, your time, and your attention with deliberate intention. One of the biggest distractions people deal with constantly involves other people's opinions and judgments. It seems crazy how much precious energy we waste worrying about what others think about our choices. We hesitate to make bold moves because we fear judgment from people who are not even living our lives. We hold back from pursuing our deepest goals because we do not want to face criticism from others. But here stands the liberating truth that changes everything. People will judge your choices no matter what you decide to do. So why not pursue what genuinely makes you happy and fulfilled? Why not focus your energy on building the life you actually want instead of living in constant fear of what others might say about your decisions? The precise moment you stop caring about opinions that truly do not matter, you free yourself completely to focus on what does matter. When you focus with this kind of intensity and clarity, things begin to shift dramatically. You accomplish more meaningful work. You start witnessing real progress in areas that matter. You develop authentic confidence, not because someone else validated your worth, but because you prove to yourself that you are genuinely capable of achieving your goals. That represents the true power of eliminating distractions from your life. It creates space for you to become the person you are always meant to be. However, here comes the important catch that many people miss. This transformation does not happen by accident or through wishful thinking. You must be completely intentional about making it happen. That means establishing firm boundaries in every area of your life. It means saying no much more often to requests that do not serve your vision. It means creating a daily routine that prioritizes your goals over everything else that competes for your attention. It means removing anything from your life that slows down your progress, whether that involves toxic relationships, destructive habits, or time-wasting activities that serve no constructive purpose. Because at the end of every day, success involves more than just working hard with intense effort. Success requires working smart with strategic thinking. Working smart means protecting your focus at absolutely all costs, treating it like the precious resource it truly is. So if you feel tired of feeling stuck in the same patterns, if you experience frustration because you're not where you want to be in life, ask yourself this crucial question. Where's your energy flowing throughout each day? Are you pouring it into things that help you grow and develop? Or are you wasting on distractions that keep you stagnant and unfulfilled? Because the precise moment you decide to take your focus seriously, everything changes in your favor. You start moving faster toward your goals. You begin seeing tangible results that motivate you further. You start realizing just how much you're truly capable of achieving when you eliminate the noise. When you finally stop letting distractions control your life, remarkable things begin happening. The most beautiful part of this process is that once you master this skill, it becomes an automatic habit. Focus becomes your default mode of operation. Progress becomes your new normal way of living. The things that used to throw you off course stop affecting you because you have trained yourself to stay locked in on what actually matters for your success. So do not let distractions steal your future potential. Protect your time like it is the most valuable asset you possess. Protect your energy like your life depends on it. Watch how quickly your entire life transforms when you make this commitment. Authentic success does not revolve around one big moment or breakthrough. It emerges from the small, consistent actions you take every single day without fail. It becomes easy to get caught up in the romantic idea that one massive change will fix everything that feels wrong in your life. That one breakthrough, one lucky break, or one perfect opportunity will suddenly transform your circumstances completely. But that simply is not how real success operates in the world. The genuine secret to lasting success involves the compound effect of continuous self-improvement. The small things you do in silence, the daily habits that seem insignificant in the moment, these represent the things that lead to massive life changes over extended time periods. Think about this fundamental principle carefully. Every choice you make throughout your day either pushes you forward or holds you back. There exists no neutral ground. Waking up early to work on your goals represents progress. Reading educational material instead of scrolling through social media represents progress. Choosing discipline over convenient excuses represents progress. While these actions might seem small and insignificant in the moment, when you repeat them consistently day after day, they begin stacking up into something powerful. Most people never experience lasting success because they underestimate the incredible power of consistency in their daily actions. They start something new with great enthusiasm, but when they do not see immediate results within a few days or weeks, they quit completely. They work hard for a brief period, but when nothing changes dramatically, they return to old habits and patterns. What they fail to realize is that real success gets built through consistent repetition over time. Success requires showing up even when you do not feel motivated or inspired. It demands doing the work when absolutely no one is watching or acknowledging your efforts. Because the fundamental truth remains that results do not show up immediately. But that does not mean they are not coming inevitably. Think of this process like planting a seed in fertile soil. You do not plant a seed today and expect a full-grown tree tomorrow morning. You water it consistently, nurture it carefully, and give it time to grow naturally. At first, it appears like nothing is happening above ground, but underneath the surface, the roots are growing stronger, extending deeper, preparing for the moment when they will break through the surface. That represents exactly how success operates in every area of life. Every time you take a small step toward your goal, you strengthen your foundation for future success. You might not see the results immediately with your eyes, but if you maintain consistency over time, they will manifest inevitably. The fundamental problem remains that most people give up far too soon in the process. They become frustrated when they do not witness instant progress. They convince themselves that their efforts are not making any meaningful difference. But the truth is that everything you do consistently adds up over time into something significant. If you commit to constantly learning, growing, and improving, even in seemingly small ways, you're setting yourself up for inevitable success. The people who achieve their biggest dreams are not necessarily the ones who made one dramatic move. They represent the ones who kept going consistently when everyone else gave up and walked away. Here comes what makes this principle even more powerful in practice. Once you start seeing tangible results from your consistent efforts, momentum kicks in automatically. When you build one positive habit successfully, it naturally leads to building another. When you start making visible progress, it motivates you to keep going with even more determination. Success breeds more success in a continuous cycle. But it all starts with those small daily choices that seem insignificant. This explains why it becomes so important to be completely intentional with your daily habits. The things you do every single day matter far more than you probably realize. If you want to become healthier, it does not depend on one intense workout session. It depends on moving your body consistently every day. If you want to become more successful professionally, it does not depend on one big career move. It depends on continuously learning and improving your skills over time. If you want to develop genuine confidence, it does not depend on waiting for external validation from others. It depends on proving to yourself through consistent action that you are capable of achieving what you set out to accomplish. The most beautiful part of this entire process is that you do not have to wait for perfect conditions to begin. You do not need anyone's permission to start improving your life. You simply need to commit to doing something, no matter how small, every single day that moves you closer to your ultimate goal. If you stay consistent with this approach, if you trust the process completely and keep going even when it feels like nothing is happening, you will wake up one day and realize that everything has changed dramatically. That represents the true power of the compound effect of self-improvement in action. Success is not about making one big move that changes everything instantly. It involves making small, intelligent choices every single day that compound over time. When you commit to this approach, success stops being just possible and becomes absolutely inevitable. Subscribe for more powerful motivational content that will transform your mindset. Like this video if it inspired you to take action, and share it with someone who needs to hear this life-changing message today. Genuine confidence never comes from seeking approval from others. It does not emerge from likes, comments, or compliments on social media. It certainly does not come from waiting for someone else to tell you that you are good enough to pursue your dreams. Real confidence comes from taking consistent action, from proving to yourself through your own dedicated effort that you are truly capable of achieving what you set out to accomplish. The more you take decisive action for yourself, the less validation you need from others to feel worthy. Most people believe confidence represents something you are either born with naturally or without completely. But that assumption is completely false. Confidence represents something you build deliberately over time. It functions as a skill, just like any other ability you could develop. Just like any skill worth mastering, the only way to develop genuine confidence involves consistent practice and application. You do not become confident by thinking endlessly about doing something someday. You become confident by actually doing it, by putting yourself out there courageously, by facing challenges head-on even when fear tries to hold you back. Here stands the truth that changes everything about how you approach life. If you constantly wait for approval before making any significant move, you will never accomplish anything truly worthwhile. Because the reality remains that not everyone will support your journey or understand your vision. Not everyone will encourage your dreams or celebrate your progress. If you allow that inevitable reality to stop you from moving forward, you will stay stuck indefinitely. You will hold back from your potential. You will shrink yourself to fit into a version of life that feels safe but lacks fulfillment completely. Think about the most confident people you know personally. What do they all have in common that sets them apart? It certainly is not that they never experience fear or uncertainty. It is not that they always know exactly what they are doing in every situation. What distinguishes them is that they trust themselves enough to take action even when they feel uncertain about the outcome. They do not waste precious time waiting for someone else's permission to begin. They do not sit around wondering endlessly what people will think about their choices. They simply go for what they want with determination. Because they consistently take action despite uncertainty, they build concrete proof of their capabilities. Proof that they can handle whatever challenges arise. Proof that they can figure things out along the way. Proof that they're genuinely capable of achieving their goals. That represents the real secret to developing unshakable confidence. Confidence is not about feeling completely ready for every challenge. It involves taking action before you feel ready and trusting that you will figure everything out during the process. Most people wait until they feel 100% prepared before taking any significant action. But the fundamental problem with this approach is that perfect moment never actually arrives. There will always be doubts lingering in your mind. There will always be unknowns that you cannot control or predict. But if you let that uncertainty hold you back from starting, you will never get anywhere meaningful. The only way to develop genuine confidence involves starting before you feel ready and trusting completely that you will figure everything out as you progress. Here comes the most powerful part of this entire process. Once you start taking consistent action toward your goals, your need for external validation begins to fade naturally. When you prove to yourself repeatedly that you are capable of handling challenges, you stop needing other people to tell you that you can succeed. You stop seeking approval from others because you have already given yourself the most important approval that matters. That represents when real confidence gets built, because it is not based on what others think about you. It gets based on what you know to be true about yourself through direct experience. This explains why people who take risks regularly, who step outside their comfort zones consistently, who challenge themselves continuously, always seem more confident than others. It is not because they never experience doubt or fear like everyone else. It is because they have built up so much evidence of their own ability that doubt no longer has power over their decisions. They have seen themselves succeed before in difficult situations, so they believe completely they can do it again when new challenges arise. The most beautiful part of this entire process is that you do not need to be the most talented person, the smartest individual, or the most experienced expert in any room. You simply need to be the person who remains willing to take action despite uncertainty. Because genuine confidence is not something you wait around for passively. It represents something you create actively through your daily choices and actions. Every time you do something uncomfortable, every time you push yourself beyond familiar limits, every time you take a step forward despite feeling afraid, you strengthen your confidence like building muscle. So if you have been waiting for the perfect moment to begin, stop waiting immediately. If you have been hesitating because you fear judgment from others, let that fear go completely. If you have been looking for someone else to validate your dreams, realize that the only approval you truly need comes from yourself. Real confidence is not about knowing everything before you start. It involves trusting yourself enough to take the next step forward even when you do not have all the answers figured out yet. When you start living with this mindset, when you stop waiting and start doing consistently, everything changes in your favor. You realize that you never needed permission from anyone else. You never needed validation from external sources. You simply needed to show up for yourself repeatedly until confidence becomes your natural way of being. Once that transformation happens completely, nothing and no one can stop you from achieving whatever you set your mind to accomplish.